All is not well in the marriage of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Now, in fairness, if you have been a viewer or a reader of Outspoken for pretty much 18 months, you've known that because I have reported on things that the mainstream media simply will not. But there's been two very significant developments over the weekend. I want to share them both with you. First, Alison Boshoff, who, remember, is the woman tasked specifically with covering the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle beat for the Daily Mail, confirming what folk like me have been saying for some time. And she uses a very careful phrase: the veil is lifting in terms of Harry's feelings about Meghan. Again, this is nothing new if you're a regular viewer of Outspoken, but what it does show you is that all of a sudden, sure, Alison Boshoff, not a member of the Royal Rota, but the fact that the Daily Mail, which has some new confidence in terms of its reporting on this couple after its mega courtroom victory, is prepared to go there, is quite something. And I'll get into that reporting imminently. But perhaps a little bit more shocking is the claim from Lady Colin Campbell, independent YouTube sensation and royal author. Of course, she will be here later in this week, suggesting that Harry has met some new type of companion in Montecito, a female companion who he loves. She insists, by the way, for legal reasons, that they are not having an affair, but certainly this is something that she says Meghan has found out about and is not happy about. It's worth listening directly to Lady C's reporting on this. Don't miss a single update on the stories that actually matter. I'm breaking down the news every day, so make sure you subscribe to never miss a beat. Click that subscribe button right now.
Well, Harry has met someone who is his age, with whom he is in love, and who is in love with him. And Meghan found out about it, according to my sources of information, after she discovered texts on Harry's phone. How many tears left I? How many? Oh. I think we'd better get a bottle of champagne to sort of get everybody calm. If Harry does have an interest elsewhere, and you notice I say if, and I do so for legal reasons. And you also notice, for legal reasons, I haven't said that he's having an affair with this woman, nor have I said that he's having a post-marital or anything affair with this woman. And I'm making sure I don't say it for legal reasons. But you can draw your own conclusions. Two adults who are supposedly in love and in their 40s. Well, of course, what do? They certainly wouldn't do anything but speak about Schopenhauer. Of course, that's what they do.
Now, Lady C goes on to report that Meghan Markle is livid, but she won't give up because of the brand, and neither will Harry. Watch. If you value the whole truth and nothing but the truth on these royal stories, make sure you subscribe to Outspoken right now. It allows me to work outside of the MSM and the Royal Rota.
According to what I have been told, Meghan is livid, but I'm going to quote, but not enough to give up on her brand, which includes Harry's connection to the king. Nor is Harry about to leave his children, whom he loves dearly. The girl, woman, girlfriend, friend, however you want to put it, and I'm putting it like this for legal reasons, resides, and I'm not going to say if it's actually in Montecito or near Montecito, but it's in the environs, let's put it that way.
What's interesting
is the Montecito fairy tale hitting its biggest roadblock yet? Royal watchers around the globe are reeling after aristocrat and seasoned royal commentator Lady Colin Campbell dropped what might be the most sensational claim of the year. According to Lady C, tensions inside the Sussex household have reportedly reached boiling point, and it all stems from a set of discovered text messages between Prince Harry and a mysterious new female friend. What exactly did Meghan find? Who is this female friend hiding in Harry's inner circle? And why are royal insiders calling this a major turning point? Let's dive straight into the shocking details. The explosive speculation was ignited during a fiery sit-down between Lady Colin Campbell and broadcaster Dan Wootton. During the discussion, Lady C alleged that Prince Harry has formed a close connection with a woman roughly in his age group, someone firmly positioned within wealthy, elite social circles. Lady C claimed that Meghan allegedly uncovered messages on Harry's phone between him and this female acquaintance. Now, to be clear, Lady C was careful to frame her statements with strict legal caveats, emphasizing that she was not accusing anyone of an explicit physical affair, but rather highlighting an emotional intimacy and private rapport that raised immediate red flags.
that Lady Colin Campbell's new reporting comes at a time that the Daily Mail is finally prepared to go there, suggesting that while he was madly in love, the veil is now lifting. So let me take you inside this reporting from what she describes as the plan to reverse Megxit from the Daily Mail's Alison Boshoff, who reports the conditions of the reconciliation, this is with the king, were that there was to be no cameras in the room, no briefings, and no Instagram posts about jam or anything else. To these strictures, an apparently humbled Harry agreed in a heartbeat, and he has been as good as his word. Now, again, I totally disagree with that. Like, honestly, they leaked immediately to People magazine last week about how unhappy Meghan was and how sad she was about how it had all played out. And then we've seen the leaking from Harry to the Sunday Mirror over the weekend about how emotional the reunion was. So please, can we not say that these two know how to keep their mouths shut, because they don't. But a friend of his comments to Boshoff, Harry was never going to let the kids down. They were so invested in the trip. They FaceTime with Charles all the time, so they already have a relationship, but they were so excited to finally come home. It was their first proper chance to meet. But Boshoff adds, I can reveal what was at stake was more than simply a grandfather who has not been in the best of health, spending time with his grandchildren, or even healing the wounds caused by Oprah, Spare, Harry and Meghan on Netflix, the court actions against the Home Office, and all of the rest of it. The Sussexes, she announced, are seeking to reverse Megxit. It seems that a return to the UK is being contemplated in some form, and that the couple's holiday home in Portugal will be used as a staging post back to Britain. I'm told there are two key reasons for this. A friend of Prince Harry says there is definitely a feeling in his camp that he has started to feel a bit unwelcome in America. That has been an increasing and significant shift in sentiment, a feeling that the American dream might not be all that it was cracked up to be. I am told that this is coming from Meghan as well as from him. I hear that Meghan is all for rekindling with and reconnecting with Harry's English side. She is fully behind it. So look, I'm going to continue the reporting in just one moment. But first, I've got to bring in Brittany, editor of the Royal News Network, who joins me stateside because, Brittany, seriously, maybe that's true. You tell me that there is a significant shift and a cooling in America, but trust me, there's no shift here. I mean, if anything, I would argue that after the last 2 weeks, the view of Brits is hardening, that they don't want the Harry and Meghan drama back in the UK.
I mean, the truth, Dan, is that Harry and Meghan bring toxicity wherever they go, whether it is in person or online. It's just always seemingly toxic with them. And that's part of the reason why nobody wants them around. It's never easy. It's never simple. It's always complicated. And when it comes to the United States, especially, we really appreciate hard work in America, and that's the last thing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle do is hard work. They barely work at all, and then they want all the praise, all the accolades, all the attention, all the glory for doing the minimal bare work that they do. And so the American dream is very, very much alive, but Harry and Meghan couldn't live it because they're not good at what they are attempting to do. Meghan never really made it in Hollywood before she met Harry, and the same is true after him as well. They got a little bit, but Harry and Meghan just don't seem to know what to do, don't seem to know where to go. I think this is putting immense strain on their relationship because I'm sure the money problems and issues are compounding because they don't have the same money coming in that they did just even a couple of years ago. And so the whole situation with them is sort of falling apart. And it's due to them. They didn't produce good work. And you know what? You got a failing grade, and they're sort of failing at life too.
Indeed. And Boshoff goes on, Brittany, there's dwindling star power, and the end of their deals with Spotify and Netflix must surely play a part, as must Meghan's fading popularity among the supporters, like Ted Sarandos of Netflix, who had previously been her cheerleaders. The source adds, England is where Harry's heart has always lain. It is no secret that they went to the States to try and seek their fortune, to try to capitalise on his fame and his royalty to some degree. They have had successes. A $100 million Netflix deal is not nothing. But that American dream is cooling, and she feels an outcast status as well. She feels like she is trying to push fresh thoughts and projects, but it is not easy. So maybe enough water has now passed under the bridge here for some form of a return. Now, this is an extraordinary U-turn in terms of the briefing. But again, it does back up everything that I've reported for some time. I mean, the fact that Meghan now doesn't even get an invite to the main Emmy Awards, let alone the Met Gala or the Oscars. The fact that Harry cannot get a seat at even a pool match of the FIFA World Cup shows you that absolutely America has turned, and they are feeling it. But I think the problem is to try and come back to the UK, to try and come back to England as some sort of backup option is simply not going to fly. Like, we're not your backup option, Harry. And unfortunately, we were never going to be your backup option from the moment that you went on Netflix and suggested that those of us who voted for Brexit, remember that's over 52% of the population, were in some way racist. We were also never going to accept the way that you tried to bring down the British royal family. So what's so interesting for me is that it's like, oh shit, there's no plan B. The plan B is the UK. Now, Boshoff does temper some of her reporting by saying it's not a permanent or imminent return that's been discussed, but to hear it being mooted still feels like a bombshell. And I agree with her. It is a bombshell because it is a total 180. I also think money is a big part of this, but we'll come to that. Another source who is less sympathetic to the Sussexes says they suspect a different kind of calling may lie behind the manoeuvre. And this is where we come to Alison Boshoff, and I give her credit. She's doing it carefully. She has to be careful. She's in the mainstream media. I get that. But coming to the fact that really the marriage is not in a strong place anymore. The source said, I don't think he's ever wanted to be estranged from his family. I think when he was madly in love with Meghan, he could be blind enough to choose her. Now things are different, and the veil is lifting. Now, Brittany, I will return to the report in just one moment, but to me, they are the most significant 4 words in this whole article. The veil is lifting. That is talking about how Harry feels about Meghan. And of course, I have reported for a long time all of the issues within the marriage, but you have to admit, Brittany, this is very significant that it has finally found its way into the mainstream British media, which have been absolutely determined not to go there until now.
I mean, Dan, this is huge. And it goes along with what I've been speculating on a lot as well, because when it came to the move to Hollywood, I mean, we all knew this really wasn't Harry's idea. And leaving the royal family wasn't Harry's idea. I think Harry would have been perfectly fine to stay in the royal family for the rest of his life. But Meghan just kept whispering in his ear. And of course, she was manipulating him, saying I was going to kill myself. And the press is so mean to me. And like, falling in his arms and weeping and stuff and hiding in a corner. Like Meghan did, I think, probably a lot of theatrics to really convince Harry that their only option was to leave. And she spun him, I think, this tale of how successful she was in Hollywood and they could do this and they could do that. And Harry, I think, was high on the supply. Like he did his whole Freedom Flight video, which is like absolute cringe now when you look at it. And so they went to Hollywood, they went to California, and things were good for a while and the dream seemed real. But now the dream is dying. It's turning into a nightmare. And as it turns out, making content or making shows and productions is hard work. And creating a documentary is hard work. You have to create a story, and they've had a lot of failure at this point. Netflix just proving again how much of a failure the two of them are by releasing the most recent numbers from what we watched for the first half of 2026. And so this all kind of culminates in this failure, and Harry is just like, okay, I'm seeing it now a bit more. This was all a lie to get me over here so she could live out her Hollywood dream, but it's become a nightmare for the both of us, and now I want to go back home. But home is not really an option for him either, because he didn't just leave. He lit it on fire as he left. And it's impossible to pick up those ashes fully. He will never be who he was before he left, and he has his wife to blame for that.
Totally. Well, he does. I mean, he does, but I also think he has himself to blame too.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Himself to blame.
Because there was a lot of, I mean, look, I 100% agree with you, Brittany. 100% agree with you. And you could say that right up until Spare. But Spare was his name on that book.
That is true.
And there was a hell of a lot of damaging stuff on Oprah and Netflix. And to be honest, I think it was done at that point. But like, I think Spare was like the final million nails in the coffin, if you get what I mean. When you think that was all of the accusations against Catherine, Camilla being dangerous, the so-called fight with William. But look, I do fundamentally agree with you. It was obviously all started by Meghan, and I think by the time Spare came around, it was too late, actually. But right. Bolshoff goes on to report, it is a short hop from that reality to Harry and his family staying in a royal palace when he is next in the UK. And this is where I just think, Charles, what are you doing, man? And if that protocol is established, which Harry apparently feels sure can happen next time, then he looks as half in and half out. Precisely what the late Queen barred the couple from doing. What we do know is that Harry will be back in September for another charity event. There is an expectation that there will be another meeting with the King, and that he will accept an offer to stay at Buckingham Palace in good time this time. Next summer, he will be in Birmingham for all 10 days of the Invictus Games, and the plan is that Meghan will come with him for the whole thing. If she's in the UK, then they will want to bring the children too, says the friend. If it is possible, I'm told he would like the children to see what he does and experience some of the atmosphere of the Games, which are very close to his heart. Where might they stay? Highgrove would make perfect sense geographically. Now, I'll just again pause there, Brittany, because what this is a very sort of PR spun way of saying is that Harry and Meghan are planning to unmask the children next year at the Invictus Games. They intended to do it this year. It didn't work out. They're going to take another year, Brittany, to try and use the children as emotional blackmail in their battle with the King, using the British government in order to do so. I mean, seriously, it's nuts. And do we actually believe that even if they do get their way, that they will unveil the children? Or is it just a way of trying to force the British government into giving them security? And remember, I have reported, and this still hasn't been picked up anywhere else, and it infuriates me, but I have reported, Brittany, that the reason they want the security cover from Ravik is once they get it, it's very difficult to lose it, and it would mean that they were covered all over the world for security, which means immediately Harry and Meghan don't have to pay their $3 million security bill. But I think what they're doing here very clearly, Brittany, is using the children as bait to the King, as bait to the British government, as bait to the British public. Like, you give us the security, you'll see the children. It's gross. And I don't even necessarily believe it.
I mean, it's absolutely despicable, Dan, when you look at how Harry and Meghan have used their children. And the honest thing is, I think we'll probably see the kids sometimes within the next 365 days. I don't know if Harry and Meghan can make it all the way to the Invictus Games, because the brand of Harry and Meghan is in a really bad spot at the moment. They have no projects really in production. Everything's stuck in development hell. And so the kids are sort of the last resort. And so I think we will see them trot out the kids and start to show them more, leverage them more for their brand, because Harry and Meghan apparently have nothing else. And what you see in actually the Netflix numbers more recently is that the only thing that sells about Harry and Meghan is their connection to the royal family. And through their children, they'll just continue to exploit that, continue to manipulate and blackmail Charles. And the thing is here, if Charles met with them, and that's great for him. I understand why that's good for Charles, but he really has to think about the bigger picture here. Are Harry and Meghan meeting with him and the kids to have a relationship, or to leverage his feelings in order to get their way? And those are two very different meanings. And unfortunately, because I think Charles, in some ways, I mean, Harry and Meghan capitulated and Charles did somewhat as well. By meeting with them, I think he reinforces this idea that they can manipulate him with the children. And there's just a huge danger there. The reality is, Archie and Lily were not going to get security even before Harry and Meghan left the royal family. Harry and Meghan don't need it. Nobody wants to pay for them. In the United States or anywhere else in the world, nobody wants to pay for their security. They are private citizens, and that just must be made appallingly clear to them, and I just don't think Charles is going to do it.
In typical sharp-tongued fashion, Lady C added fuel to the fire by telling viewers to get a bottle of champagne ready for future developments. Reports suggest that for Meghan, discovering private, undisclosed messaging between Harry and another woman triggered an unprecedented level of anger. Why is this story spreading like wildfire across the internet right now? Because it fits directly into a pattern commentators have been tracking for months: the undeniable distance growing in Harry and Meghan's public lives. Think about it. We've seen Prince Harry embarking on high-profile solo tours, attending charity galas in New York, summits in Europe, and solo engagements in the UK. Meanwhile, Meghan has been focusing on her independent brand launches and West Coast charity appearances. Royal analysts note that when a high-profile couple pivots toward completely separate professional trajectories, their personal circles inevitably drift too. When new friendships develop during long periods apart, especially hidden ones, it creates a recipe for intense paranoia and friction inside the relationship. The fallout from Lady C's claims has split royal fans down the middle. Critics of the couple suggest that the intense media and financial pressures in California are finally taking a toll on the couple's dynamic. On the other hand, die-hard Sussex supporters insist this is just another round of unverified gossip meant to destabilize the couple's personal life while they focus on individual business ventures. They argue that Harry communicating with longtime friends or acquaintances is completely normal and being blown out of proportion. Where do you stand on this latest royal storm? Do you believe Lady Colin Campbell's source claims carry real weight, or is this just another tabloid rumor taking off? How do you feel about Harry and Meghan pursuing completely separate paths lately? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. We love reading your takes. If you found this update informative, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the latest breaking news.